Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. I haven't really been talking about the war because I've been warning y'all about the war coming, and so it's here. So I don't feel like I need to talk about it. It's wars everywhere, um, and they will continue to increase and be more deadly. So we can expect more of our troops to be harmed. I want to talk about this particular story because three of the soldiers that were killed in the drone strike in Jordan were our people. And so, for me, they look like our children, our young people, my nephew that is going off. And it's just something about it. I had been talking about, us not sending our people into these conflicts, into fight other people's wars. And this is the reason why, because at the end of the day, we're fighting for the adversary when we do so. And so this is why we must be careful about participating in this system of supremacy. And we also must be willing to take some sacrifices, finding some alternatives, doing something else. I know, people like to say this is a way, but I don't see it as a way. To me, it's like if there are other things to do and steal, I'm going to choose stealing instead of going to do the other things that are a little more difficult. Or, there may be some challenges, but I'm gonna be or I'm gonna use my ingenuity and find me an alternative route than this. And I really I understand people who have served at one point in time. It was good. You didn't have to worry about all this stuff that's going on. But now that we are awakened, we should have a totally different mindset. The only um, army you should be concerned with is the one that Israel cannot form, because every time we try to come together, we're thwarted by the adversary. Other than that, you're literally like going to fight for the strange nations or the disinherited nations or for other people. And so that's how you have to think about it. Don't think about it from a natural, well, I went in, I did good, I retired, I got my check, I'm fine, this happened to me, I didn't see conflict. When you are the house of Yaakov, you understand who we are, then you understand why you are not supposed to participate in any aspects of this system. Come out of her also has to have that mindset as well when it comes to fighting for Babylon, because that's basically what we do. We send our kids in to fight for Babylon because they keep us so oppressed and we're so intertwined in the system. We just, we don't really understand. But I'm not going to belabor this. I wanted to talk about this for two reasons. One, because it's our people. So, the Pentagon on Monday released the identities of three American service members killed Sunday by a drone strike in northeast Jordan. And all these people were from Georgia. So it says the three were identified as Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46, of Carrollton, Georgia; Specialist Kennedy Layden Sanders of Waycross, Georgia; and Specialist Brianna Alexandria Moffitt, 23, of Savannah, Georgia. Those are people. You can just tell by the last names. They're my people. Them people from down here in the South. Um, so it says the three were all reservists assigned to the 718th Engineer Company in Fort Moore, Georgia. Meanwhile, the number of those wounded in the attack rose to more than 40, the Pentagon announced on Monday. National Security Counsel John Kirby said President Biden is committed to holding accountable those behind the drone strike, adding that the attack was escalatory and requires a response. And so I talked to y'all a couple of weeks ago about when my nephew was home, and he was saying that he had friends that he had enlisted with that were around the world, and they've been talking about how these military bases have been attacked. And not only have they been attacked, but usually what happens, and this is most people who are in the Army or uh, Marines or some other branch where they actually see a lot of conflict. Um, and I don't know if you know anything about how America operates, but when you go into a country, they always hire the locals to try to give them a job, to try to gain their trust so they can get information in them. And so they allow these people to come onto the military bases and work. Well, they know where the soldiers sleep, they know where they eat, they know everything. And so when these people leave, they have to leave the bases at a certain time. And when they leave, these local people in these nations that we are going to invade or go to war in, these people don't like us. They don't like us. We pay them. They do work. We pay them. They get intel on um, our soldiers' locations on these bases. And then at night, as soon as it gets dark, they start shooting across the walls exactly where the soldiers sleep or where they gather at night. And so, it's like counterintuitive to me. It's like just really stupid, but that is what we do. So, a lot of times when these attacks happen, you know, the media will be like, "Oh, it was just a random attack." No, these people like know where the hell these soldiers sleep at because our military allows them to come onto the base and work and get money and try to, you know, soften the hearts of the people that they are there. And it doesn't work. The only people who get harmed are the soldiers who are stationed there. And so that's exactly what happened. Um, and there are some stories about the attack took place exactly where they sleep at. And I'm not saying anything that I don't know. My ex-husband, who was Army, said the exact same thing. I have another friend who was in Iraq and Afghanistan in National Guard, said the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter. And it's been years ago. My husband retired years ago. He was in Mogadishu. This friend was in Iraq. I have another friend who was in the military that served, said same thing. And then my nephew, who's much younger than all these men that I know, tells me the same thing, that this is happening in Poland. So I'm saying all this to say that these people don't just randomly attack. They know exactly where they're going and who they're attacking. So, it's a very interesting time, and I just want y'all to understand how this is going, how it's going to go. As long as we have troops in these other nations, these bases are going to be attacked, and our people are going to be in harm's way. So this is why it's really important for us to understand how this goes. Um, so I want to go to what they, them folks, our people say happened. It says the aerial drone struck container housing, that's where they sleep, units at Tower 22, a remote base in northeast Jordan near the Syrian border, early Sunday. Tower 22 supports the Al Tanf garrison in southeastern Syria, where U.S. special operations have long operated in tandem with other countries in combating Islamic State militants. About 350 U.S. Army and Air Force personnel are deployed to the base. Central Command said that at least 8 service members were evacuated out of Jordan to receive higher level care, but they are in stable condition. A U.S. official told NPR that the service members' injuries vary, with many suffering from traumatic brain injury. There are also reports of spinal injury and at least one case of a shrapnel wound. The U.S. military has been under scrutiny after reports that air defenses at Tower 22 possibly mistook the enemy's drone for an American one, which was operating around the same time in the level of the attacker. The confusion was reported by the Wall Street Journal, which you can't really trust either. So this is my problem with this advanced military warfare, because like you're talking about using drones. How do you mistake somebody's drones unless you lose communication with it and you don't know what's what? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the whole thing is interesting. So you use that term, interesting. Now check this part. This is the part that I want y'all to really pay attention to. So it says, who's behind the attack? The Islamic Resistance in Iraq, a coalition of militias backed by Iran, claimed credit for the attack. The group called it revenge for America's military presence in the region and the Palestinian death toll in Gaza. More than 25,000 people have been killed in Gaza, according to Gaza's health ministry. Now, I'm going to stop right here because this article came out on January 29th. This story here, oh, I hope I didn't make it go away, also came out on the same day, January 29th. It says, and it's from the Independent, Iran denies responsibility for Jordan drone attack that killed 3 soldiers. This is where stuff's starting to get a little funky. So it says Iran has denied responsibility for an unmanned drone attack that killed 3 U.S. service members and wounded dozens more at a military outpost in Jordan. The attacks mark a significant escalation of tensions in the growing Middle East conflict and represents the first military casualties since Hamas launched a terror attack on southern Israel on October 7th, prompting a ground offensive into Gaza by the Israeli armed forces, which Washington has supported. So, see how the stories are switching around. You don't know what to believe. All we know are some young people, young black people, are gone because they decided they're working for Babylon. And Babylon got them tangled up in their underwear. So it says U.S. officials say at least 34 service members were being evaluated for possible traumatic brain injury after the drone strike on Tower 22 near the Syrian border, with several of the wounded transported to separate military facilities for care. An Iran-backed militia group known as the Islamic Resistance in Iraq has claimed responsibility for 3 simultaneous drone attacks on U.S. forces, including the deadly Tower 22 assault. A statement released by the group threatened more attacks if the U.S. keeps supporting Israel. So it just stops there. It says the statement released by the group threatened more attacks if the U.S. keeps supporting Israel. All the U.S. interests in the region are legitimate targets, and we don't care about U.S. threats to respond. We know the direction we are taking, and the martyrdom is our prize, it said. So listen to this. It says, but Iran's mission to the United Nations sought to distance Tehran from attack. Iran had no connection and had nothing to do with the attack on the U.S. base, a statement read, published by the state news agency IRNA. It added, there's a conflict between U.S. forces and resistance groups in the region which reciprocate retaliatory attacks. The Pentagon is set to announce the identities of the soldiers of those killed later on Monday, saying the information was being withheld for 24 hours so that they could, so that their next of kin can be notified. But I just found it interesting that now nobody's taking responsibility, or let's say Iran denies responsibility. So they're saying they didn't do this. So in any event, we ain't gonna know who doing nothing. Everybody gonna be lying, and you can't trust Jack. We don't know anything. Everything we know, we thought we knew, we don't know because we just in a big old psyop. We're in a movie. We don't have any control over anything. We can't trust any news that we get. We understand everybody's playing on the same team for this new global order, And all these wars have to happen in order to create the chaos and instability around the globe, to occupy forces all over, to get our military stretched out and overextended so that we can be taken over here. Or when chaos breaks out here at home, we're left unprotected. That's why I did the global conflict tracker the other day, so that I could show you what to expect. So this is the type of news we're going to be getting. We're going to be confused. You're just going to see, dead people. They're going to be reservists. They're going to be from our local communities. They're going to be young. Um, and it's only going to get worse. Then you're not going to be able to recruit because we have World War III threats. We're really in World War III. They just won't actually say it. And people are not going to send their loved ones off. So I anticipate within the next year and a half, we'll probably be having a draft, because all these nations are going to start attacking Babylon, because Babylon has to fall. It's already been prophesied in the book of Daniel, book of Revelation. So it's just a matter of time. What we need to do is continue to prepare for whatever happens here where we are, and be mindful that you need to come out of this system. You need to check out literally, and as much as you can physically. I'm talking about with this election coming up. Like, doesn't matter. Don't matter who wins. Everybody's on the same team. They're playing for the adversary, and you're a pawn. And no matter what side you take, they have developed an outcome that they want to achieve. So, whatever side you decide to take, it doesn't matter. The outcome will be their outcome, and you'll think you're getting something, because you've been conditioned to not think critically and look at all sides and then look at the big picture, and perhaps even consider yourself a conspiracy theorist, like they like to label us. So in order to avoid being labeled that, you won't think deeper. You'll just do whatever they tell you to do and think whatever way they tell you to think, and then miss out on the fact that there are always only two choices. It's always going to be just two sides. You ain't going to get no multiple choice. But even if you do get multiple choices, trust and believe they have figured out all the outcomes that could possibly happen. And whichever one wins out, they still win. You're not winning anything. You think you won, but what you will understand in years to come is that you will have lost, and you will have forgotten about the poor choices that you made because of the lies that have been told us. So anyway, 3 Black people have been killed, and I don't know. I just find it interesting that it's 3 Black people. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna say anything else about it, because this video probably gonna get pulled anyway. But anyway, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, and make sure that you hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Please also make sure that you are still subscribed, because a lot of people are not getting notifications, and I don't know why. So you may be receiving personalized, but not all the notifications. So make sure you hit all. Follow me on Rumble and Odyssey. All of my old content will be on those platforms in the event that this channel is taken down. I noticed the algorithms are going back through our old stuff and flagging things. In particular, the stories that I have links in the description. So anytime there is a dispute, I always appeal it, especially if it's a link from a story that I'm reading. Like, I'm reading 2 stories now. Well, those stories will get flagged, and they'll call my stories misinformation or spam. It's a link from the internet that is not, I don't control. I didn't make the link up. It's an actual link. So they've started that again for whatever reason, and the censorship is continuing. I expect it to escalate. Having said that, y'all make sure that you are really paying attention to what you see. Think critically. Don't be so easily swayed to believe what you see and hear, because at this point we don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know um, what is a lie. All we know is that we're all going to be collateral damage in some way, shape, or form. And these people do not care about our lives. The people who are pulling the strings, the hidden hands, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them folks, the children of the corn. That's my name for them. So y'all keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High. Repent for your sins daily, sins of commission and sins of omission. Please make sure that you are obeying those laws, statutes, and commandments, learning them and obeying them, attempting to live holy and set apart. That's the most important thing. You got to develop a set apart mindset. There's nothing that Babylon has that you can be able to take with you. There's nothing that's going to save you. This place is going to be destroyed, and you can see the beginnings of it. It's been orchestrated, and the little people like us, we're going to help destroy it, because that's the way they've created the chips to fall. So just keep prepping so that you'll be prepared as best you can for what's coming. For those of us who are awakened, we have a guidebook, we have an instruction manual, we've received instructions, and we need to obey those instructions. Get out of the cities, um, put back food and water for the lean times. Keep those go bags ready in the event that you need to flee your homes. Keep your cars fueled up. Get gas cans so you can have, fuel on reserve in the event there's a power outage and you can't get fuel. You really got to be proactive. And now, again, if you have money put away in a 401k or something like that, and you worrying about taking a taxi, this stuff is imaginary. It's going to go away, or it's going to be there one day and not there the next. And you will miss your opportunity to have used those resources to do some things that you could do for your family, have tangible resources on your person and on your property. Speaking of on your person, you also should have personal protection equipment. Who said PPE? Boomsticks, candy bars, pow pows, whatever you want to call them, boom booms. I don't care. Axe, hatchet, knife, whatever, mace. Have something to protect your property and your person in the event things go awry, because we don't know when that time is coming. But everybody ain't going to be nice when things become uncivil. And now is the time to secure those things if you need to. All right. This is Marley K. Love y'all. And I am out.